And Jeremy said he would be late. How is everybody's Monday?
That's a Monday. Starting to rain.
The thunder was crazy. Do you have thunder? We had
Oh,
thunder.
no, I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we had thunder. And a huge rainstorm. It was like right around between 2:30 and 3.
No, I don't think it came all the way. Got it here?
I don't know. I would have slept through that.
The,
Oh.
the
Put this.
peak internet people, they're trenching, they're putting internet in our area.
Uh-huh.
And if there's ever any doubt why we can't get a T-post in the ground,
Oh, my goodness.
that, can you see that? That is,
That
Looks
is
like a lot of rock.
wicked. Yeah.
You see?
so after they trenched and put the cable in, they put the rocks back in the hole. And this was what it looked like before they covered it back up with dirt.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, on our side, it's not like that.
I know. How is that even fair? Not even a tiny bit fair. And they were so funny. They stacked up these rounds that we had and they put them all back. When I left, as I drove out, I was like, it doesn't even look like they were there, except there's this orange tube sticking out of the ground.
They did awesome. Their crews are awesome.
And he was very thankful that I warned him about the blast tomorrow because they're going to be working down on the corner. And so they will hear it. But if you don't know what's happening, they're blasting at the rock quarry tomorrow.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's between 10 and 4. You never know when. And all of a sudden, just kaboom.
Wow.
Super loud.
Are we waiting for?
Yeah.
Here's a sign-in sheet.
Oh, yeah. Okay, awesome. So
Sure.
I called her.
Oh, good. Yeah, I don't know what the
And I said,
website
you
is.
should check on that. And so I will send her.
Oh, I should get a pen for that.
Yeah.
I think Ron's kind of an expert on it. On Oregon page. So you know a lot about it.
Yeah. Question about it, how do you go through the process?
Is there a website?
Yes.
Is it like OregonJ.com or gov? Is that even?
I'm gonna go look on the.
For what? If she Googles Oregon page, she can look it up.
Oregon.
Yeah, you could just Google it and come right up.
Yes, you're in charge of bringing all the documentation for your doctors. That's the important thing. Even though the website says that your doctor can access the portal and your doctor can stuff up,
Uh-huh.
you need to bring it to your doctor's office because they don't know what's gonna happen.
Is that the doctor? Jeremy says he's on his way. Early, I was able to get the insurance information that we talked about from SCAO. And you were right, we do have board liability coverage in this policy. But as I was looking through it, I came up with another question. If we have equipment and boiler coverage, why didn't we use it when our boiler broke down?
Well, we have in the past. It depends on how big the issue is, but when we've used it in the past, you can't just, there wasn't a precipitating event that caused this to break down. This
Okay.
is just old
Right.
and wearing out. Whereas before, we had when was this? Like 2018, I think, maybe 17 or 18, maybe 19. I think it was more like 18, but there was a car that hit a power pole right over here on Fifth Street, right? Well, it was actually an airport, right? Kind of in front of the high school stadium. And it caused us to lose a phase of power. So, and in doing so, we lost 2 VFDs. And the VFDs were like, what were they, like 15, 20,000 a piece? And so then we use that coverage.
So it doesn't, so just because it was old and worn out,
Right,
it doesn't count, it has to be like an
It's gotta
event.
be a, yeah, like something that caused it. It can't just be that it wore out and now you need to, you need to replace it just because it was nearing its end of life or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but this, we had police report, we had documentation, I mean, it was in the news. So we could say, hey, this happened and caused us to lose a phase of power, which was detrimental on our equipment.
So it was new after that, or it was repaired,
No, we got 2 new VFDs.
but not a new full system?
Well, no, it wasn't a
Right.
new boiler, it
Right,
was
right. It was the
2
equipment.
VFDs,
Right.
but it actually was 2 VFDs for some of the HVAC equipment, not the boiler per se.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But just as an example, it has to be-
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, if a car has, like, say, driven into the building or something right here and caused it,
Ran over the.
or
boiler.
something like
Maybe.
that, yeah. Or if, like, you know how here, I think this was last year, one of the times that the boiler went down, or we lost gas and we didn't have any gas for a while. It's because kids were up on the roof and they turned some valve off that shouldn't get turned off, and then that caused some problems, but it wasn't enough to warrant coverage. So it's gotta be a certain amount, and then too, you gotta pay your deductible or whatever,
Right,
so it better be worth it, kind
fine,
of thing, so.
I was just curious.
But,
I
yeah,
just
no,
noticed.
those things are always in the back of my mind when we have big breakdowns. And if I can attribute it to something, I'll definitely do,
Mhm.
so.
It looks like you could drop your laptop in the pool and get a new one.
Well, let's do that with the printer next time.
I did see printer, I did see laptop. Well, it says computer equipment, I guess a printer could fall under computer equipment.
Should
Well,
I carry this thing by the pool?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do notes,
Stumble.
or Jeremy, are you gonna do, Rose is not doing notes, she's just sitting over there looking pretty,
Yeah, I can do it for maybe, you want me to do it for this one too?
yeah.
Has anything happened yet that I'm supposed to take notes on?
No, because we're just gonna start, we were waiting to have a quorum.
Okay.
Do you want a laptop for the notes?
I certainly can try it. Normally, my initial draft is, something I can read. We can certainly give it a shot.
Is it in there?
Whoa. Okay. We were only talking about that, not actually having it happen.
What was it, what?
That's
She
me.
don't cut her foot.
They said something was good.
That was a good topic.
Oh, asking about the,
insurance,
yeah, we have equipment breakdown and boiler insurance, Jeremy,
Lorelei was
along with
explaining
board
that.
insurance. So we do have. board
Yeah, that made me
insurance.
feel good, so that's good. Oh, and that was probably an open question for the main meeting.
In case you haven't seen that, you can have that one. So what if you want to look at it?
What am I looking at?
It's the insurance policy,
Oh,
so you'll know what there is.
My life is complete.
Your what?
My life is complete.
Well, I'm not really sure I have to call the meeting to order. I guess we should get out more and go to working sessions at the city or watch them and see.
Yeah.
See how they
I
work.
think so. What I read was we just treat it like any other public meeting.
Okay. I guess we're waiting for her to get the laptop so Jeremy can take notes.
Well, maybe we could try it based on the equipment. This might take 5 or 10 minutes to do.
I would think
A little bit.
it's such that.
I didn't
Is this the
either.
one that we went over?
I thought it was.
I thought it was.
This is the one that she just gave us. Or are you looking online?
Well, when we were here, I thought it was. Maybe not.
Oh, I have. No, this one from the movie. Oh, this is the note, but I had the other one too, that was, I guess I don't have it right here. Or we.
Yep.
I just, Darla, I just noticed that you didn't update the, roles on the, right here. It still says Mark's the chair.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the last one,
It's not,
Is
this is the agenda. The
I know, but
minutes,
look at the minutes.
the minutes would be that. Actually, I was the chair last meeting,
Yeah, well, yeah,
but the agenda for this meeting should have it updated for
Yeah.
Darla and I,
yeah.
so. Just a note.
I was before I looked at that one here.
Feel so much smarter now, huh?
Oh, I feel so
Well,
much smarter.
do we want to wait for the computer? Or we just want to start talking. Jeremy can, he can ad lib when he gets done.
Yeah, we
It's
can.
on YouTube, so.
Oh, okay. So she's recording YouTube for right now too, so that's fine. Okay, so welcome. We're gonna do our first working session. I have no idea how this works, but we're gonna give it a shot. It gives us extra time to talk. We won't be as rushed as in our normal meeting. So when we made the agenda, we
I'll
kept
take those and go back. Thanks.
the topics sort of brief so that we could try to get through the things we wanted to talk about. Clearly, no decisions can be made in this meeting, and we would have to have a vote in our regular session to do anything based on what we talked about in the working
To move
session.
it forward.
Yeah, to move it forward. So the topics that I put for the discussion tonight are board goals. I'm going to talk about that. The secretary treasurer roles, Darla's going to cover that. And Jeremy, you're going to revisit the website functionality conversation about all the bells and whistles that we would like it to have.
And this is just ideas, forward thinking, not.
No decisions,
Mhm.
no decisions. So, just off of some of the things from before and some feedback that I have, I made a working document,
Oh, okay.
a goals document. It's,
Good fun.
I do, I
Yeah.
did 10 of them.
Oh, good, sure.
So, you can keep going. Rose, do you want one? This is kind of intended to be a living document. Clearly nothing, oh, yeah, I got one. Clearly, nothing is set in stone. These are just ideas. And they're for us to talk about and add to and scratch off if we don't like them or think that they're worth the board's time, just that kind of thing. So I think to all of us, the main goal is to ensure the long-term success of the aquatic district. We all want to be here, the pool to be here for people to use and not worry about it breaking. There's a note, in recent years, it's been unclear how the board intends to achieve that goal, which is why we're talking about goals. There doesn't really seem to be clear board goals. This document will hopefully bring some clarity. It's intended to be a working document, can change over time. So the three main areas are public transparency, maintenance and repairs, and administrative clarification. So clearly, I don't need to read this out loud to all of you since you're reading it. So I'll give you a second and then maybe we can see if there's questions, thoughts, talk about it. Jeremy's already writing stuff. So do we want to go through them one at a time? What do you
Yeah,
guys-
I
what do you
think
guys
so. Let's just practice. We don't know what we're doing.
Okay.
If everybody agrees.
Yeah.
Go through.
So, Laura Lee, I think you said at one of the meetings that you had gone through all of the resolutions and documents and you have all of the, what's the word, valid, current, they're not necessarily current,
Well,
but valid.
I have all the documents catalog, I mean, I have all the resolutions cataloged
Okay.
from the beginning to the last one that you guys did.
So catalog meaning you know which ones are active and which ones aren't?
I mean, I could go through and figure out which ones are active and which ones aren't.
Okay. So
So you're thinking only active ones would need to go on the website?
I do, I only think the active one because it's
This
just,
would be a pretty big task, right? It's been a lot of years of.
right.
Yeah.
So, and then if we make a resolution that updates a different resolution, we can replace it
Mhm.
so that if someone's looking and they want to know what the resolutions are, they're getting what's active. And they're not having to try to figure out what's active and what's not active.
So a resolution made 10 years ago could still be active because it was never,
A new one wasn't made.
Would it be worth having like an archive section on the site for old ones? I mean, I like the idea of having them out there, but I don't know what our data storage limit space is. We'd have to figure that out.
these are like
I'm sure you're gonna get to that.
PDFs. Or, yeah, that can be in your category.
Are they PDF, do you have them saved as PDF documents electronically?
Not all of them.
Okay,
Some of them are the original ones and they're just photocopies,
okay.
but I mean, I can scan them. They don't look as good.
But they're there. Because today our permanent storage is a file cabinet, probably.
Well, some stuff is on file cabinet, in file cabinets, some of it is on my computer,
And
but everything is
backed up?
in the actual book.
Okay,
you
so
know,
even if it's on your computer, it's
Yeah.
still printed out.
Yeah.
That did come up in the ethics training as a question of how do you store long-term, because districts get older, right, like ours.
Yeah.
And people were saying, we had stuff where they were typing it, not just printing it. And the comment was the same thing we're talking about doing, is try to digitize everything and then store it a couple places. So one of the fire districts had a safe deposit box, and they had a hard drive in their safe deposit box. I don't know what the penalty is for not having everything forever, but George just kept saying, you don't want to be the person to find out.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you have to
we-
make sure.
We have everything.
Yeah, but God forbid there were ever a fire or a whatever, right? A large pitcher of water.
Well, some of our stuff is we have a storage unit at the storage depot. But our little unit was not in the part that had the fire.
Good, yeah, I didn't know that.
So,
Yikes, that was close.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good reason to get that stuff backed up somewhere.
Okay, so today it's mostly paper, some digital, a lot of digital. And what do you think the task would take to get to 100% digital?
well, I mean, I don't know as if we could or should be 100% digital, because part of having everything in that book is so if Joe random public comes into the pool and says, I want to see this resolution, blah, 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 here's a copy.
Yeah, having a reference book, I think is a good idea.
I mean, just like
Yeah,
our
me
budget
too.
book,
Yeah.
I have to take an actual printed copy of our budget book to the county clerk's office.
Right.
And then they keep it on file, so if somebody goes down to the county, then they wanna see the aquatic district's
It's not
budget.
something that probably has to be done immediately. We could do it in phases.
So,
Get the active ones up first and then
Yeah.
start adding.
Right.
Just
That's
keep
a
on
good idea.
adding. I mean, it's, the website will probably keep on growing.
And the benefit could be that Joe Public doesn't show up, right? Because he can just look online and see what he wants to see and not have to
well,
come
for
down and
sure,
ask
but
for
there
it.
still might be older folks that aren't
Oh,
super.
yeah.
Right.
tech.
I don't think it
Oh,
has
of
to
course.
be either or, but I understand what you're saying, why have both, right?
Well, I think we should have both.
Oh,
is what
okay,
I'm saying,
okay,
so.
I think that too, so then when it goes in the book, it also goes on the website, that would be great.
Do you know if the current, I don't know what they're called, Webmaster, the company that we pay, do you know how much storage we have? Do
I
you know
have
what kind of,
no idea.
okay. Is there a contract with them?
The only thing we have a contract with them is we just pay a $20 a month fee, and it's for like our domain, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, other than that, they don't do anything. Like, we add stuff or update the website. It's web hosting, that's what it is. That's what the $20 web hosting fee is.
Okay,
Yeah, other than that, it's, I mean, they built the website for us, but I don't, we don't keep,
You're not paying them to update.
right,
Right.
Oh, we are, we're paying like $100 a month for web page, right?
no, it's $20 a month web hosting.
Go over
$20
the recent
a month.
budget then. Maybe it was last year's budget.
Well, I mean, I put a little bit extra in there because I come up with the budget like in March or April, and then it gets adopted for July, but I wasn't sure for sure what that cost was gonna be.
Right.
Okay, so we have a
So
line
it's
item,
just
we're
a
trying to use
number.
it.
Well, the line, we're using $20 of that. The line item is probably a little bit more than that. Because again, I don't, I didn't know at the time if it was gonna stay $20 a month or if they were gonna
right.
raise.
So Jeremy, do you know what the question is that we need to answer to know if we can do what we need to do to add the web?
We just have to log into our web hosting account. Literally should have the account information. You log in there and they'll tell you how much storage you have for the website.
I mean, I can look it up or figure it out.
Or I would say I can do it, but I know that there's some gray areas on having a board member do something without the board specifically telling them to do it.
Right,
But if the login information were gotten to me or any other IT guy, we could look it up. It's not that
Yeah, it's
difficult.
probably just a phone call. too.
and then would we
Phone
be,
calls are actually very difficult. in
would we
this space.
be, would Laura Lee be able to upload the documents onto the page herself? Or would the webmaster people need to,
I think it's
do
self-supporting is what you're saying. Everything that goes on the page comes from.
but you
Yeah.
built the website?
But the question is, like, I just don't know, like, right now, if you are familiar with our website, when you go to the LAD, the LAD board
Right.
page, we have like all the minutes on there and there's, the current, board packet, stuff like that. I just don't know how much, I mean, I don't know if we can put 500 specific items on that page.
So you probably need a secondary page called like a link that says whatever resolutions and then a page.
Yeah, I don't,
Or just
that's
documents.
just a question we'll have to figure out, is like,
With WordPress, it's very easy to update. The only thing I would suggest is we might want to come up with like a Google Drive or one of the storage locations to put the documents in for organizational purposes. Because when you, as a user, upload to WordPress, it organizes it by year and month. And then if you ever don't want that link, you've got that file sitting there taking up space, and it's really hard to clean that up. Organization, it'd be nice to store those somewhere where it's a little more clear. Like this is all our resolutions. And just in a folder somewhere, and then give a link to the website.
And that can be secured the same way.
You know, well, I mean, from somebody editing them, sure. I mean, it's probably data, so.
Right, yeah, not from people seeing it, but from deleting it or whatever. Right.
And it's PDFs anyway, so they shouldn't be able to edit them,
Sure. Point.
so.
Yeah, probably deletion's your biggest.
Right.
And then
um,
that's where all these paper backups come in.
Right,
So, policies available and vendors. What do you guys think about vendors on the website?
I love that idea.
Um,
I've seen a couple of different places do that. They list all their vendors out. And it's almost like a little promo code for the vendor too.
right. Because then they know that the pool's using them as a vendor. So,
Plug for the vendor.
so policy, that's what you have here, current policies as well as current vendors.
yeah,
Okay, so resolutions and policies?
I would think. I think that our policies are also public documentation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and other pools are doing the same thing. Okay, and then current vendors, I think that's just public record also. Right? Anything we're paying is public. So.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know, Laura Lee, if you had to guess, well, probably not guess as much as me, how many vendors do you use?
well, I mean, I don't, dozens. It's just how drilled down do you want to get? I mean, sometimes we run down to Weimar and buy batteries, or, you know what I mean? So, I mean,
So all the
budgeted-
major ones, I would say.
Budgeted vendors? If we have a line item in the budget for the vendor, would that make it more feasible
Yeah,
than putting Weimar
I
on
don't
the-
think it's casual, Costco kind of level supplies and things
Right.
like that. It's
I mean,
really-
because we do get stuff at Costco, we go buy stuff at Home Depot on occasion, I mean, it just depends on what we need and where to find it. We'll go Ace,
Right,
you know, but, some, we buy stuff on Amazon, we buy stuff on sale, you know what I mean? I might buy Hammer Mill paper this month and then some other brand the next month.
I would think it would come down
So,
to
it-
the services, people who repair the pool, maybe not even one officer, it'd be.
Well, and see, that's the thing, like plumbers, sometimes we'll use Buckmaster, but if they're jammed up, we'll use Stutzman's. If they're, can't do it, we'll Servco. I mean, so I wouldn't say we have set vendors. There's probably really very few set vendors that we use. But we're
Because you're-
using lots of vendors.
Because you're not adding them to some kind of vendor creation page, you're just paying them. Yeah, and you're not, I think the intent behind it and why the board gets involved is to proof out the vendors and make sure that they're legitimate businesses but that's for bigger projects. That's not gonna be a recovery effort for a leaky pipe.
right.
Well, and, I mean, you know, we try and find, you know, reputable, bonded,
course, yeah.
actual people. I'm not just
Yeah.
finding like, you know, Guido with the van
Yeah.
down at 7-Eleven to come fix something.
Yeah, I didn't mean it that way, but I
So-
mean, it's, somebody who's gonna come in here and do a major renovation, I would think you might want that listed.
Right,
That actually, rather than a vendor's page, that might be more like a historical log type deal, like, oh, this person came in and did all this maintenance for us on this date. We don't really have the concept of vendors because it's all scattered, that might be a better way of just keeping the data. and telling
well, we're
people
gonna
what's
talk
going on.
about repairs and maintenance too, so we can just see how it flows into that conversation.
Yeah.
Well, because the second thing, and it's the website features upgrades, online scheduling payments with alerts, like a pop-up, like the warm pool's not working, or like I just saw there's a sign out front that said there's no instructors today. So that if someone went to the webpage, it pops up right in their face and they know that's the very first thing that they see. So Jeremy, I had you on the list to talk about website functionality. I don't know if you want to talk about it like right here about we talked about adding the policies and the resolutions and an extra page for that, but upgrading online scheduling, payments, alerts.
Yeah, I do love the alert that other pool had, that was way better than ours.
Yeah.
That would be one thing. I still like the idea of getting some sort of high school person to work on WordPress. Is so easy. It should be nice to. I mean, the school board, they brought in 2 little students who are now part of their board. It's so cool. Community integration outreach
Yeah,
would be kind of a fun way for that job over there.
So I have a question, as an employee who would be dealing with day-to-day stuff like this. The first thing is, like, I mean, a pop-up is great, but for example, if I'm here to teach and, I don't know, I get sick and I have to leave, how are we gonna get that up on the website? Would it be split, as, for using a high school student, or Jill's working for, like, if somebody here is not capable of putting on a website, that can't go up. Or if it's a weekend and the person's not working and, the work pool goes down. So that's one thing to consider. And the other thing to consider with online payments is, right now, when we have payments come in, for example, swim lessons is the big thing for which online payments will be helpful. They call us up and I look at the form and enter them in. And if somebody's actively signing up online and I'm on the phone, now we have a class that has too many people in it because there's a little bit there to work out with this. So the employees then have to go online and use the online software and then enter somebody's credit card online because we have people signing up for swim lessons that don't use it. We have people signing up for swim lessons that don't speak English.
Yeah, I think
So
you're right.
it
I think
seems
that
like-
having the employee use the online system would keep it much more cohesive. That would be a good way to do it. But the,
What would you do now? You fill
Well,
out the page
and
and
then we have to-
later it would get entered?
Well, what we do now is somebody calls up and says, I want to sign up a kid for swim lessons. So we pull out a hard copy and we write down the information on the hard copy. We take their information and then we enter it into an Excel sheet. And then someone, me, Jill, or somebody else goes through and checks the hard copy against the the Excel sheet to make sure that everybody's on there. Because believe it or not everybody's gonna be on there. And then we make adjustments to make sure that everybody's on there, somebody got a kid working, you have me working register and, oh my gosh, we need your help with this. And I'm in the middle of doing something and I walk away and I'm really put in there. So that's why we have that checks and balances system.
So if instead
So instead we did it online, we
Right.
have to train everybody how to use the online.
probably wouldn't have a problem with that.
It's a lot easier and faster than just
We-
paper Excel.
We have trouble just, again, my median age of employee is like 16, 17 years old. And it's been a struggle just getting down this old fashioned way that we're doing it.
That's because it's paper and they are completely
They're
100%
very
digital.
electronic.
So
Okay,
they
but
are
it
gonna,
still requires a process and then having to slow down and, and their lifeguards too. They're not web administrators, they're not office people, they're doing everything. And so then their counterpart is, needing them to switch out, or their counterpart is having an emergency and they gotta drop what they're doing and go help with that. And so then to remember, oh yeah, I gotta finish that transaction or whatever. Yes, it sounds all well and good, but, we gotta work with what we've got. And, I ask a lot of my younger staff. And, Jill and I looked at the scheduling software that integrates with online payment. And we went to Corvallis, we went to Albany, we looked at area pools. And to get something that really works is very expensive. That's why we decided not to try and add that. Because I wasn't sure if, spending the 15,000 or whatever on a really good, robust system that's gonna do all of that. I wasn't sure that was good money, especially if we're trying to figure out how to come up with this renovation that we're trying to pay for.
You would
So,
definitely have to.
to me, it wasn't a higher priority. Trying to get the cast iron piping figured out, to me, was a higher priority than, getting the online payment feature and the scheduling software.
And the lack of the online payment for some lessons is not hindering us selling out swim lessons. I think
Yes.
if we were hindering signups, then that might be really something to consider. But
Well, and
we're selling out swim lessons.
I don't disagree with you, but I also, do we know where we're at versus capacity? We know how much more we could add, if that's true,
We-
that we're at.
We almost sell out of our lessons every time we offer them.
Capacity being, we have other days, we have other
But
hours.
no, spots we can do with how much pool space and how many instructors I have. And yeah, we almost sell out every time we have lessons. So, I need a bigger pool if I'm gonna add more lessons.
For another day.
Well,
Exactly.
we've
Leased it.
Yeah, we've done lessons on Saturdays before and they were not super popular. And then I've got staff that work 6 days a week now. And when we were open on Sundays, I had staff that were working 7 days a week. And, then they burn out.
It's a balancing act, for sure.
It is totally a balancing act and we're never like super flush with the staff. We're always operating just.
One of the
Which is
challenges,
not to put an online payment thing, like, I'm totally all for that, because I like text stuff, but I just think about like the people that I work with and, how I have to track down people about discrepancies, when we are using the computer to do the bulk of the information, and that information is still, you know, like, let me go over this with you again. No, I got it, but let me go over this with you again, because you don't got it, that kind of thing, because they're confused, and there's written instructions for how to do it, so.
Well, one way we could do it
That's
is
all.
we could ease into it, rather than going all the way. It would be very easy for us to open up something like an Amazon account, which would integrate with any payment system out there, even if we did it manually. And sell packages like, not the schedule, not the complex stuff, just the basic swim, like a year pass. Send you a deal so that this person then pay for it. It's really basic, really easy. Now, it'd be a good way to get our total.
Well, and with everything we sell, even we've got the in-district price and the out-of-district price. So everything